everybody. It is great to be here one more time today. And my name is Gary Fowler, and I'm the CEO, President, and Founder of GSD Get Shit Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with several unicorns under the belt. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion. And also EvokAI, an AI tech company that I co-founded with Dr. David Yang. We believe at GSD that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities are not. And with that, I'd like to bring my incredible guest online today, Peter Green. And he came through GSD, by the way, with his company Rehaboo, and he was just acquired by a company called EvokAI Creative Labs. So with that, I'd like to bring Peter.
Howdy, Gary. How are you doing today?
Good. Well, first of all, congratulations on the acquisition. I know. Now, where's Evoke headquarters? Are they in San Francisco or are they in Finland?
They not. We have Evoke's headquarters is in Vancouver.
Yeah.
The basis of the company is in Basel, Switzerland. So something going on there as well. And the CEO is currently located here in Helsinki. So we are moving in together. So headquartered in Vancouver and Helsinki, I would say.
Oh, that's great. Well, now I got a question for you. Where is the University of Lincoln?
University of Lincoln is in Hull, Humberside, UK. So in England.
Interesting. I was going to say, it sounded like a U.S. University. I've never heard it before. So I thought maybe there was one in Pennsylvania. I thought, you've gone to Pennsylvania.
No. I haven't been to Penn. Actually, I've never even visited Pennsylvania. So, no, that's in Hull, UK. So around Manchester, Leeds, East Coast. A nice 2 universities, a lot of fishermen, and a good football team, like the real football.
Well, they love football there, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. It's a crazy,
crazy
football country. Yeah.
Peter, how do you go from going to Satama Interactive, you Rambless, became a co-founder of Rambless Digital, right? And how did you? It's a digital event marketing company, but how do you go from being a key account manager to co-founding a company like Rambless?
That's a good question. I don't know if Heikki Hegu is listening, but Heikki Rotko from Choicely, he was my boss at the time and CEO of Satama. I was responsible of Nokia accounts. So, at that time working with Nokia, having almost 40% market share in smartphones, that took you to places. So I was going around the world with the Nokia team, basically doing event marketing or more than that, making live demos and exciting people about Nokia's new devices and services, such as camera phones, music phones, application stores, and stuff like that. So Rambless Digital was actually a spin-off of Satama, at the time a huge or one of the biggest digital marketing agencies in the world, and also one of the first when we founded that in 99. Oh, no, wow. Sorry, 96 or 97. 97 that was.
And you were the co-founder of the company?
No, unfortunately not. I decided to move to Germany to study at the time when I would have become a co-founder, but I was coming back for the job, and I was employee number 16, so 016.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so then you go from there to InTouch. So what happened? Where was InTouch located, by the way?
InTouch was located in Copenhagen, Denmark. Huh. And it was a project only for me, but I was at the same time pretty much continuing the Rambless Digital stuff that we did for Nokia and Nokia's key customers, the carriers, operators. We did a couple of cases for other brands as well, but it was something way too forward thinking. It was like the Instagram before Instagram, what we did for events. So I hopped into InTouch. That was one of the Nokia's event, like hospitality agencies. They were doing a lot of events. And I went there to do the same stuff that we did at Satama and at Rambless Digital, but only using the SaaS software available to purchase for $10 per month.
Wow.
So instead of coding it by ourselves for years, I was just purchasing this from there and that from there, and created the event concept for InTouch in just half a year.
So you did that for a couple of years. Actually, you did
It
that,
was about 7-8 months. It was
And
a half-year project, but
and then you went over. You different companies. The Finnish Mobile Association. That must have been interesting. So you did
that
it.
was actually a really interesting thing, because what we did at FinMob, oh sorry, I dropped my earphone. What we did at FinMob, that was a company or association actually founded by Ismo Rantala, a renowned guy that used to run a couple of soft landing spaces for Nordic and Baltic startups in New York and also in Louisiana. So Ismo was the founder of that, and then him and a couple of other guys. One was Peter Westerbacka, just before he hopped onto Rovio Angry Birds to become the Mighty Eagle. We toured the world, and actually what happened, this is pretty interesting, because Nokia and Forum Nokia, the Nokia's developer program, they were helping a lot of Finnish small companies, even before startups were really known. And they were taking those kids around the world. But then what happened after Nokia collapsed, Android and especially Apple started boosting the application stuff. People wanted to develop for other platforms. So we found FinMob exactly to take the same kids around the world that used to go around the world only with Nokia. But the good thing was that our first founding partners were Microsoft and Nokia. And, at that time, they were still against each other pretty much.
Yeah. That's amazing. It's interesting.
That was amazing. So,
Peter, to see how a company like Nokia had been at the top of the world and then go down to the bottom in such a short period of time is unbelievable.
I was watching Nokia from so close, being an account manager and client director for Nokia's event marketing stuff for way over 10 years. It is amazing. I mean, such a great amount of great people. Nokia engaged the game phone, the mobile gaming device. It's really something that got me into the games and gamification. Also at the events, we also always make people use the Nokia devices and to earn points for watching a demo, having a beer, going for, I don't know, skiing or some other activities around the event. So we created these gamified events. But about the Nokia games and the Engage, a lot of people have been talking about that. Yeah, Nokia failed with the Engage because they didn't know anything about games. Well, true that. Maybe Nokia as such didn't know anything about games, but when they went to the games business, they did their homework well. They hired hundreds of people that were gaming and games professionals to really build up the games, the ecosystem, the brands. It was amazing.
Wow, it's
But it's still, yeah.
So when
good times.
You went to GE, you went to did a project with GE Healthcare, Health Innovation. How was that? How was it going from to doing your own companies and working in events? How was it going to doing a project with GE Healthcare? What was that like?
Well, that's another great story. You have good questions, Gary. That was another great story. At this Schloss conference that we always talk so much about with you, that one of the biggest tech startup investor conferences in the world here in Finland every November, December, when the slush and snow hits the ground and the coolest startups are inside coding. At Slush 2014, at the Cable Factory, actually the last year it was still in this small venue Cable Factory. I ran into the CFO of GE Healthcare Finland, and he asked, "Oh, so GE?" I was like, "Yeah, of course, one of the biggest companies in the world." And he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do something with startups." And I said, "Good luck with that." And I walked away, and he was like, "Peter, you just can't walk away from me like that." I was like, "Well, kind of busy here, and I don't really believe that the corporations and startups can do anything together. And he says, why? I said, well, it's just the history has proven that being wrong. And he said, yeah, I know. I was at Nokia and I was doing Nokia Ventures and I've been at Boston Scientific. We've done stuff. So we're going to do things differently. And he invited me to visit them. And I went and the village was completely still under renovation. And I started talking with this guy, Mikko Kauppinen. If you're online, Mikko, hi. And amazing guy. And he's like, what do startups need? I was like, well, good coffee. We have that. Internet, electricity, that's it, that's enough. And he said, so no good people, no potential customers, no potential partners. I said, of course, those are very much needed. Well, join GE Healthcare. And I was like, okay, but I don't really have any healthcare products on me. And he said, well, you have the shoulder game. I said, yes, but that was just the marketing for outdoor advertising. And then he said that, yeah, fine, but, let's make that something else. So I said, well, I'll think about it. The next time I went to GE Healthcare, there was the CEO was there as well. And he was a French guy, Didier at that time. And so I decided to ask the one question, how much budget you have for this? And I thought he's going to say $1 million. And I'll say, good luck with that. You're going to last a year or two with that, and then this is going to collapse. But what Didier said was something remarkable. He said, we don't have any budget. We are just bootstrapping this. I mean, GE is a super innovative company. We don't get any budget for innovations as such. But we see that we need to combine our innovations with startups. So we're just going to bootstrap this. And I said, okay. And then he said, well, look at this a huge roll of carpet coming to the second floor where we are actually, Rehaboo and EvokAI in the future as well, located. And I said, okay, what about that? He said, we accidentally with Mikko, we ordered twice the amount of carpet to the 5th floor. So now we have a carpet here for the village. That was remarkable. So of course they had a budget for it. But I mean, the attitude that they were telling the story, that was sold. So I became the external of GE co-founder of Health Innovation Village. And naturally, as an entrepreneur, I was an entrepreneur in the village as well. We are still located there. Well, so SLUS Conference 2017 was the last GE Healthcare Health Innovation Village event that I made. Events was one of my key roles there. Wow. And then I jumped on the Rehaboo full time.
So, and then you went to Clear Channel. What was Clear Channel all about?
That's all about digital out-of-home advertising. And very much related again to event marketing, how you use the screens. Like here we have the Rehaboo game behind me. How you use the screens, how you interact with the screens, normally with mobile device, maybe with a smartwatch, or your body in Rehaboo case as a game.
And then you went to ZDoo. So ZDoo is that started the game site, right? A discovery-driven hybrid advertising service.
We get disconnected for a change, maybe. So Clear Channel, out-of-home advertising company, one of the biggest in the world, is using the screens to connect to people. So my task at Clear Channel as a consultant, freelancer for them, was to create interactive and involving out-of-home experiences. So shopping malls or metro stations or any other places where you have the big screens, how people interact with them. And actually, a basis of Rehaboo game, that was a campaign made for Polar Electro. Are we online now?
Yeah.
Am I back online?
Yeah. You froze for a second there. I was waiting for the punchline.
Okay, the punchline, well, it went already, but let's try again. So, it was about Clear Channel. So Clear Channel, obviously out-of-home advertising, big screens, connecting people and places to the screens. So my task at Clear Channel as a freelancer consultant was, and sometimes still is, it's a great hobby. I love the screen advertising, where people hang out, not only in Times Square, but also in any city, shopping malls or bus stations, and they can actually interact with the advertising. So my job was to come up with crazy ideas for how to involve people, how to do interactive advertising, and that was the Clear Channel path.
Very interesting. So, you know, as you've gone down through this, you talk about Rehaboo. Now, where did Rehaboo come from? What made you decide to develop Rehaboo?
Yeah, well, Rehaboo actually it originally came from out-of-home advertising campaign. I think I was just frozen while I told this earlier. So Polar Electro, Finnish, how would you say, heart rate monitor smartwatch company wanted to create involving campaign at shopping malls where people were playing a game using their own body as a game controller. I had been in a shoulder surgery and didn't really do my rehab. And at that time, I was able to measure all my movements, my trajections with my broken shoulder. And I got this idea of, well, why don't we gamify this? Why don't I have the next level I need to reach? And that would be so motivational, so empowering, so much fun. And what I learned a little later, also so much more measurable in a way that the physical therapist could get it. And that's about 8.5 years ago now. And I just got a new shoulder surgery 3 weeks ago. So this is my first week I can do a little bit without the, how do you call the I don't know how you call the thing while you, that keeps your hand, exactly. So now in the next 3 weeks, I can really start rehabilitation again. And of course, I'm using our own game for that. And while doing that, that's going to, of course, mean that my physical therapist and also the doctor who operated me are going to be watching me and our game, how we perform. So quite interesting times ahead of us, actually. Let's see if I can get the video back I was having here on the background. I can't. It's okay. I had the Rehaboo game there on the background, but that's all right.
Yeah, no, it's no problem. So you came up with it because of that, and
because of my shoulder surgery. Yeah.
So how did it? You know, so you started the company in 2016. You've gone down through. You did these digital screens at malls, and how did? I mean, how did you grow the company?
Well, actually, I forgot to mention for your earlier question still. So we won, actually, a student team won a hackathon. Yeah. That was also happening at the Slush event. They won a hackathon and I was helping them out. I was one of the co-organizers of the hackathon, and with my shoulder problems, with my Clear Channel Polar experience of using screens and cameras, I gave them some pieces of my code to start to work on the 48-hour pitch, and they won. They won, and through that we got first customers at the Helsinki University Hospital's Children's Hospital. And so that's how it all happened. And we started slowly picking up customers, but also in Finland, we have a pretty good public funding service called Business Finland. So we got the right kind of funding from the government to really kick off things. First started with the founding team in 2016. In 2019, April, so pretty much 4 years ago, we hired a game development team. By the end of the year, we had finished our first product and started selling, but then the pandemic closed the doors of the hospitals and also of the elderly care homes. And then what we did is we figured out that, hey, we need to be able to do this in cloud over AI. And so we were able to do it. And that was the most amazing thing ever. What makes it the most amazing is that the guys at the NVIDIA said that it's impossible.
Wow.
First they said that, sorry, Peter, we don't serve small customers quite yet, which is completely acceptable as a no. But then they said that By the way, Peter, we don't think, or actually we know it's impossible. You're not going to be able to use a standard webcam, any webcam like this one here, to measure a person's movements, shoot it up to the cloud, analyze it, return it back to the game in real time. Well, 4 or 5 months later, we had the first prototype. So we did it.
Wow, that's great. Congratulations. So I understand that congratulations are on an order. You've got just EvokAI. It's just acquired your company. How's it feel now to be to have a company, an exit in a company, and moved on with a new company?
Well, it's of course amazing feeling, like seeing the future potential ahead of us way better than what we did before, because we were a small startup. We were like we discussed at the cohort 10 times. Every month is a struggle because we are a monthly based software as a service. The MRRs and even ARRs, we were able to get quite good ARRs as well, but they are still rather small. So how to be able to grow the company, and now we have a pathway for that. So the every startup's thing, we were quite a long time down there, bottom there, and also every month we were struggling with having enough runway. And now that's basically solved.
That's doing a startup, right, Peter? You know
Yeah.
you have the runway. So I know you went through GSD Labs. So what was it like in GSD Labs?
Well, I think it was a really really good experience. I already said this to so many other entrepreneurs that there are, of course, Techstars, and there are, of course, multiple others that are huge and everybody knows, and they take a lot of your equity. But I think I've always been a doer, and let's get shit done. The first time I heard it, I was like, wow, these guys have it already in their name. I think starting the program, looking at the pitch deck and really getting the punchlines, like you said earlier, while I was frozen a bit, getting the punchlines right, that is so valuable. And of course, also the network and the alumni. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'll tell you what, we're so proud of you. You did an incredible job with your company. I'm so happy that you got your exit, and I
Thank
know
you. Thank you.
but you've accomplished, you've done incredible things. So we're coming up to the top of the show. Closing thoughts, and how do people get a hold of you?
Right. So the easiest thing is either finding Peter Green. There's this one guy who died a couple of years ago, a great guitarist. So you will first find him, but do a little bit of a more clicking. Peter Green, Rehaboo, Peter Green, Finland. You will find me, or through Rehaboo at Rehaboo Game in all the social media channels. I'm also called my own old IRC, Internet Relay Chat nick is still Pekre, Pegre. So with Pekre, you can find me from the right places. But check out www.rehaboo.com, or I believe through TSD network pages, we are findable from there as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want to say, Peter, thank you again. Congratulations on an incredible
Thank you
exit.
so much, Gary, and thank you for all the super valuable feedback you and Nick have been giving us. Do I still have 30 seconds?
Sure.
Meeting EvokAI again at the Slush conference, or day zero from the Slush conference. We were pitching at this event at the Helsinki XR Center, and these guys walk up to me. One of the co-founders, Tuulas, he used to run the Helsinki Health Capital. I know her from there, and they came to say, well, great to see Rehaboo. Show us some stuff. Well, who do you work with? And we said, well, mostly with elderly, with physical activation much needed, but also the mental cognitive activation. And if I wouldn't have gone through the pitch that you and especially Nick were, bombarding me with, that there's multiple target audience, it's not only activation, we need to look at the cognitive stuff as well. the brain stuff as well. EvokAI, it's your brain, make it bloom. It's all about the neurological disorders and brain. And I was showing them all the cognitive games, and they were like, wow, those are amazing. All the cognitive disorders need physical activation as well, and we have the cognitive stuff. But that was so good. So thank you guys. That was part of your pitching training that we really figured out the key punchlines.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. It is about that. It's getting the message clear and concise, being able to wow people, and the networking, contacts, and communication. So thank you so much. Congratulations again. And thanks,
buddy.
Thanks to all of my audience out there for joining one more time. GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. And my name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. And I'll be back to you again next week with another exciting edition. Take care, Peter. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.